Tell me something about yourself.
First of all, good evening, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I am Ronak Panda from Bhubaneswar, Odisha. I am a recently qualified chartered accountant. I completed my schooling from CBSE board where I secured CGPA 10 in my 10th and 92.2% in my 12th. I've completed my articleship from SDR and Associates, in which I was primarily engaged in concurrent audit of.
Could you be little louder?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've done my articleship from SDR and Associates, which is also located in Bhubaneswar, where I was engaged in concurrent audit of operations department of a bank and statutory audit. Along with this, I also have limited exposure of internal audit. Please do let me know if there is anything else you would like to hear from me.
Do you have any earphone? It could be much louder. Any earphone, it could be better. Yes, good.
Is it audible now?
Okay, great. Okay. So why you want to get, first I will ask you on Hindalco. So what is the share price of Hindalco?
Sir, it is currently trading at around 426, 427.
Try to use your earphone up a little bit. Your voice is not audible that much. Huh? Okay. Okay. I wanted to know who is the CEO of Hindalco.
So currently the CEO is Mr. Satish Pai.
Who?
Mr. Satish Pai.
Okay. What are the growth trajectory of Hindalco in the next 10 years?
Sir,
growth plans.
Sir, I do not have any idea regarding this.
Okay. What are the different business activities in which the Hindalco is currently working at?
Sir,
where it makes the money.
Sir, Hindalco's primary business is related to aluminium and copper. Along with that, it actually manufactures aluminium and copper. Along with that, it is also engaged in different businesses like manufacturing of chemicals, fertilizers, and various acids like sulfuric acid and all. And also, it provides dry cargo handling services.
Okay, what is the GST impact on a company like a Hindalco? What are the various GST impact on Hindalco?
Sir, as it is a manufacturing company, the products which Hindalco will be selling will be applicable to tax rate ranging from 12% to 28%, because aluminium is charged between aluminium products are charged between 12 to 28%, and copper products are charged somewhere between 12 to 18%.
Okay. What are the different products of Hindalco you said?
Sir, products, it's primarily into aluminium and copper manufacturing, and other products include manufacturing of chemicals, fertilizers. In chemicals, they manufacture something called as alumina hydrate or something like that. I'm unable to recall it right now. And in fertilizers, they manufacture various phosphatic sulfurs, and in acids, they are into actually during the production of copper, sulfuric acid is generated as a byproduct. So sulfuric acid is also used in different processes.
What is the impact of Ind AS 115 revenue recognition on this company? How it recognizes his revenue? How Hindalco recognizes his revenue?
Sir, I have no idea.
Okay. Tell me, okay, what is the definition of transaction price as per Ind AS 115?
Sir, transaction price refers to the consideration, basically. In Ind AS 5, it refers to the consideration.
Could you be a little louder?
Yes, sir, it refers to the consideration part, transaction price.
How we calculate the consideration?
Sir, I do not remember.
What are the components of transaction price? Write it down, huh? You can write it down. You can remember later.
Yes,
okay, what is the definition? Yeah, you can write it down. What are the components of transaction price? Okay. How many units does Hindalco have? Which are the
Just a
major
minute, sir.
units of Hindalco?
Sir, yes, sir. There are a lot of plants of Hindalco that are spread across various states. The major plant include the plant located in Hirakud, which consists of the aluminum plant and the captive power plant. Along with that, it also has a copper plant, uh, which is located in Dahej. Apart from this, there are other plants which are located in different locations like Utkal Alumina, which is located in Rayagada, and another plant which is located in Renukut, and other plants in Taloja in Mumbai and Belgaum in Karnataka.
Okay. And who is the holding company of Hindalco?
Sir, it's Aditya Birla Group.
And which are the subsidiaries of Hindalco?
Sir, I do not know.
Okay, write it down. Which are the subsidiaries of Hindalco? Okay, what is the standard on which is the Ind AS number on the consolidation?
Sir, it is Ind AS 110.
Okay. Brief something about the standard to us.
Sir, Ind AS 110 talks about consolidation of financial statements. In case if a company has one or more subsidiaries, then it is required to prepare consolidated financial statements.
Right. Which method is used in the case of joint venture?
In case of joint method, I think there are two methods. One is related to joint arrangements, and another method I'm unable to recall at the moment.
What is the definition of associate?
Sir, associate is a company in which the parent company has a holding of more than 20%. And less than, of course, it is more than 20% and it's less than 50%.
What is non-controlling interest?
Sir, it refers to the minority interest, the interest that is the interest which is excluding the parent's part. So whatever the parent gets, and the remaining part is allocated to the NCI.
What is the discount rate which is used, okay, in the case of the lessee books of account as per the Ind AS 116?
So first preference is to be given to lesser's incremental internal rate of return, and in case if that is not available, we use lessee's incremental borrowing rate.
Can you say, repeat?
Sir, first we'll be using lesser's internal rate of return, and in case if that is not available, second preference is to be given to lessee's incremental borrowing rate.
You said the opposite. Okay, no problem. What is the journal entry in the case of the books of lessee?
In the books of lessee, sir, lessee will be accounting for the lease as a finance lease, so it will record the ROU asset and credit the lease liability. And
What are the components of ROU asset? What are the components of ROU asset?
So the components of ROU asset include the present value of minimum lease payments. Along with that, we will also include any payments that have been made at or before the commencement of lease, less any lease incentives. Along with that, any direct costs that have been incurred have to be added to the cost of ROU asset.
What is the treatment of compounded financial instruments? What is compounded financial instruments?
Sir, it is a hybrid instrument which contains the features of both equity as well as a liability.
What is the treatment of it?
Sir, for example, if there is a convertible bond that is to be converted into fixed number of equity shares, but we have to pay interest on that. So we need to bifurcate it between the equity component and liability component. We need to calculate the present value of all the cash outflows and calculate the present value which will be included in the liability component, and the difference between the both will be the forming part of the equity component.
What is repo rate?
Yes, sir. Repo rate refers to the rate at which RBI lends money to the commercial banks.
What is the current repo rate?
Currently, the repo rate is 6.5%.
What is drawing power?
I do not know, sir.
Write it down. What is drawing power? And how to calculate drawing power? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What do you analyze in financial statement for providing the working capital loan?
Sir, we will look at the profitability of the company, whether it has been earning profits or not. We will try to calculate few liquidity ratios like current ratio, and see whether the company is having an ideal current ratio or not. Apart from that, we will also see that what are the sales trends and all, whether the company is growing or.
Can working capital be negative? And if it is a pros or a con for a company?
Sir, working capital can be negative, and I mean, if it is negative, then it may create a negative impact on the lender, but it does not necessarily mean a bad thing. It could be due to some temporary reasons. It could be for a temporary period which can be rectified.
Give examples.
Sir, I'm unable to recall any examples.
What is the difference between a credit manager and a relationship manager?
Sir, relationship manager is more into sales. So it's more of a sales job where we interact with customers in order to gain customers for the bank. Whereas in credit manager, the responsibility involves preliminary assessment of the loan. We need to assess the financial statements and see whether the company or the customer is fit for borrowing a loan.
Right. What is debt service coverage ratio?
Sir, debt service coverage ratio is the ratio between net operating income to total debt. Sir, it implies how good the company is in repayment of its debt obligations.
What is adjusted EBITDA?
Adjusted EBITDA, sir, I do not know.
What is virtual certainty in the case of deferred tax?
Virtual certainty in case of deferred tax.
Right.
Oh. Sir, is it related to deferred tax assets or I mean in general deferred? So we need to see that whether the company has any plans for the future, that whether it will be earning earning profits in the future, so that we can adjust the losses.
What are the external indicators of impairment?
So the external indicators of impairment are something like labor difficulties, any technical changes, any legal prohibitions, and an entry of a strong competitor, a sudden fall in the market value of the company.
What is the difference between amortization and impairment?
Okay, sir. Impairment refers to a sudden decline in the value of an asset due to various reasons, like it could be due to external reasons or internal reasons. And amortization refers to a reduction in the value of intangible assets due to over the life of the asset we amortize based on the benefits we get.
What is the treatment of self-generated goodwill?
Sir, self-generated goodwill is not to be accounted for in the books.
What is the concept of cash generating unit?
The cash generating unit refers to the smallest identifiable unit in the organization that is capable of generating cash flows independently.
How you calculate NRV?
Sir, NRV is calculated NRV is calculated by reducing estimated costs of production and estimated selling costs from the estimated selling price.
How you calculate it? Means how you estimate NRV of a closing stock item?
Sir, estimated selling price minus estimated cost of production and estimated cost to make sales.
That is calculation, I understand. But how you find out? Suppose a company has a material A, material B, material C. Okay, so material A. Okay, how will you find the NRV of that material A? Which documents you will ask to the client to find out the material A NRV?
Sir, I do not know about it.
Let's suppose a good has been expired. Okay, what will be the treatment of expired goods in an inventory?
Goods have been expired. I mean, sir, they will be written off.
In all the
There
cases,
will be,
or there is any
Sir,
exception?
sir, I have no idea about it. But I think that if the goods are of no use, then we shall write it off to profit and loss.
Let's suppose this expired goods has some value in the market. It can be resold in at some value in the market. Then,
Sir, then whatever sale proceeds we obtain, that is the sale proceeds, the cash or bank balance, whatever we get, we will be crediting that part, and the difference between the actual value of stock and the sales proceeds will be transferred to profit and loss.
what is the treatment of abnormal loss?
Sir, abnormal loss, again, it is to be charged to profit and loss.
What's the journal entry of good destroyed by fire?
Okay, so it will be profit and loss to purchases.
What is the treatment of dividend? Journal entry of dividend paid.
Dividend is paid from retained earnings. So it will be retained earnings to dividend payable and then dividend payable to bank.
Okay. What is how you do the audit of an inventory?
Sir, firstly, in order to obtain comfort over the existence of inventory, we have to physically verify the inventory. And we'll also check the inventory register used for physical verification, and we'll match it with the ledger and the amount appearing in the balance sheet and trial balance. And we'll also see that the inventory has been properly valued, like fixed assets should be valued at the lower of cost or NRV. And raw material valuation needs to be checked, and accordingly work in progress valuation also needs to be checked.
Let's
We'll
suppose
also
there is a
ensure
discrepancy. Let's suppose there is a discrepancy in the inventory as per books and as per the records in the system. And it
Yes,
is
sir.
a material discrepancy. What will you do as an auditor?
Firstly, I'll try to discuss with my seniors as to what should be the next course of action, and accordingly, we'll have discussions with the client, and we'll suggest a client for counting for the discrepancy. And if the client does not deal with the discrepancy, we'll have to consider its impact on our opinion.
What you will do? Where you will report it?
Sir, we'll have to consider its impact on our opinion.
As a
We'll be qualifying our opinion if the management denies to correct the discrepancy.
okay, what is the difference between qualified opinion and clean opinion?
Sir, qualified opinion is issued in case if the auditor is unable to obtain audit evidence, but the possible effects of undetected misstatements, if any, could be material but not pervasive, or if the auditor obtains evidence and based on the audit evidence obtained, the auditor determines that the effects of misstatements is material but not pervasive. In that case, the auditor will be issuing a qualified opinion. And in case no misstatements are observed, then in that case, or if let's say the misstatements are observed and the misstatements are not material, in that case, the auditor will be issuing a clean opinion.
What are the conditions of finance lease?
Sir, for a lease to be classified as a finance lease, it should satisfy certain conditions like the asset should be of a specialized nature. The lessee shall have the option, the lessee shall have the option to purchase the asset at a rate lower than the market rate. The asset will transfer to the lessee at the end of the lease. The lease term covers a majority part of the economic life of the asset, and the present value of minimum lease payments should substantially cover the fair value of the asset.
How will you do the audit of payroll?
So for payroll, we will first check the attendance register or the biometric register in order to find if there are cases of any ghost or dummy employees, and we'll see whether any and based on the number of leaves taken, we'll have to calculate whether payment has been made for the days when the employee was on leave. And we'll also obtain the list of employees and see along with that we'll also obtain the list of new joinees and the employees that have left the organization. For new joinees, we will see that the payment has been made as per the terms. We'll check the first month's salary and the subsequent payments that have been made. And for those who have left the organization, we'll see that the payment has been made in full and final settlement. All the existing dues have been properly paid or not. We'll also see that the company has made adequate provision with respect to bonus, leave encashment, and gratuity. And we'll also see that the company has made provision as per the report submitted by the
How do you
actuary.
check the unrecorded liability?
Unrecorded. I have no idea.
How do you do the revenue cutoff?
Sir, we will check the few invoices towards the end of the year, and a few invoices from the start of the financial year, and we'll see that whether they have been properly entered in the books of account or not. We'll also see that whether the goods have been dispatched or not.
What is procure to pay audit? What do you do in procure to pay?
Sir, procure to pay, sir, refers to the entire range of activities that the company undertakes when it has to obtain goods from an outside supplier. So in that, we need to see various aspects like whether purchase requisition was properly raised. We should check the three-way match between the purchase order, the goods received note, and the invoice. The quantity details should match.
Okay, what type of client exposure you had in your article? See, what type of activities you have done?
Sir, majorly it was related to stat audit and concurrent audit. In stat audit, all the clients were engaged in automobile dealership. And for concurrent audit, it was a private bank and had limited exposure of internal audit of two companies, where one company was engaged with the transmission of electricity and the other one was a coaching institute.
What were your major observations in these audits?
Sir, there was an instance where the accountant had taken a GST component in the revenue, had considered GST part in the revenue. So in order to inflate the sales, and the depreciation was also being claimed on the GST component. Apart from this, in concurrent audit, there was few cases related to revenue leakage, which was with respect to locker rent that was not being collected properly. And in internal audit, there was, although the company had a biometric system installed in their premises, but still it was subject to manual. It was manually they could enter their time, so it was subject to manual intervention, because of which inaccurate deeds were calculated.
Right. What is the two greatest strengths and two weaknesses that you are having?
If I talk about my strengths, I will say that I am punctual and I'm good at meeting deadlines. And regarding weakness, earlier I was a little impatient. Apart from that, currently I do not think I have any weakness as such with respect to my work or something that I can remember. But I do believe that there is a scope of improvement in everything we do.
Where do you think that you can improve yourself?
With respect to, sir, listening, with respect to, I mean, I need to improve my listening skills.
How will you improve it?
So by being patient, that's
Yes.
all.
Yes.
So by being patient, being patient, if the other person is speaking something, I should not come up to a conclusion unless he or she has finished talking.
Great. Yeah, you can do that exercise. There are different type of exercise, concentration level in the morning that you can do. That is really true. Okay, let's suppose you're given an opportunity to join here. Okay, what expectations we can have from you in the next 1 year?
Sir, I will make sure that everything that is given to me, I'll try my best to get it done. I'll make sure I meet all the targets of the company and fulfill all my responsibilities, and make sure I do not complain and all.
What complaints?
Sir, in case if I enter in a situation like if I feel that there's a lot of work, instead of complaining, I will try to make sure that I do my part properly and not complain like that.
Are you an introvert?
Not really, sir. Depends upon the type of people I'm interacting.
What do you understand by type of people?
Sir, if the people, I mean, if I do not feel that I am, if I feel that I'm not getting a connection with him or I am with a person, so I will not approach him or her. If I think that he is of my type, then in that case.
How you understand if he's of type or not?
Sir, that will be completely based on the situation.
Let's suppose you have to travel, okay, and it is at midnight, and there is a very
Okay, sir.
important situation in the family also, but the work is also very important, and boss has a very angry mood, and the situation in the family is such that it is very important to stay in the family also.
Yes, sir.
But he cannot. What he will tell to your boss that time to make sure both the things are done.
Sir, sir, I'll be honest regarding this. I'll be giving first preference to my family. So in case if there is any backup available, I can at least request my boss to get it done by someone else, or maybe I'll ask him for some time. If he can allow me 1 or 2 days, I can complete my.
There is a deadline, and nobody else is
Sir,
there.
sir, in that case, sir, I will be giving preference to my family, sir, first. If it is really important, then
Did you have any questions for us?
sir, what question I will ask, sir? I mean, for a specific company, it will vary from company to company. So,
Whatever you want to ask, you can ask.
sir, if you could tell me what were your major learnings and how has been your experience working at this company?
My learning has been great out here. You will get your challenging projects all the time, and definitely deadlines are there. So you have to uh, decide all the time between you and your family. But that will be little difficult because festivals and all will be missed in majority of the cases because the deadlines are such that you have to make sure that you have to focus on career. So that will be little challenging. At the same time, you learn a lot out here in terms of learning everything. But initial 1, 2, 3 years will be definitely you need to sacrifice a lot out there. That is very important, and traveling will be there. So that will be also one of the things that we have seen in my career. So that you have to work hard upon it. Rest, the culture is good. You will learn a lot. People will be ready to help you out. At the same time, you are supposed to make sure that the things are done very quickly, and also you are expected to come out of the box ideas also and look to help the management to get things done. Also, innovative ideas to get the things done at a very quick pace. If something is new, if you have any ideas, be open to share ideas and make sure that you are finding out ways to get the things done in the minimum time and increase the sales and revenue of the company. So that is and reduce the cost. So that is the expectation from your end, and it was the expectation from each and every employee of the company. It was good interacting with you. If you are going for the next round, my HR will tell you about it. Thank you so much. I think great. Well done.
Thank you, sir.